crazy people.
Welcome to Veil of Humanity, where we explore the thin line between conscience, fragility, and accountability. We are your hosts, Melonie, Yelvington,
And Kimberly Taylor.
and today we are discussing a cold case that has haunted America for years. It's the Susan Powell case.
So grab your favorite beverage and a pillow to scream into as we dive into this case.
And just so y'all know, we are a fan of the cursey words, and even though we'll try our hardest not to use them, there still may be some dropped.
Yeah, there's still maybe. So trigger warnings are in place for alleged murder, domestic violence, discussion of disappearing, possible kidnapping, sexual discussion, and of course mental health. Okay, Biss, you ready?
You know I'm always ready.
The disappearance of Susan Powell remains one of the most haunting and tragic unsolved cases in modern true crime. Susan Marie Powell, her maiden name was Cox. She was born on October 16, 1981. She vanished on December 6, 2009 from her home in West Valley City, Utah. She was just 28 years old, a devoted mother of two beautiful, beautiful little boys. Charlie, he was at the time 4, and Braden, he was 2. She was a faithful member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. My bad. She was last seen alive by someone outside her immediate family around 5 p.m. that Sunday afternoon when a neighbor and a friend left after visiting the family. She then failed to show up for work the next day on December 7th, but her purse, wallet, and identification, they were all left behind at home. Who does that sound like?
That sounds to me like Chris Watts.
Yep.
And what was the one before Chris Watts? What was his name? Chris Miller? There was another Chris before Chris Watts.
There was another Chris, yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. But
it sounds just like Chris Watts, though.
One thing about females, we don't leave the house without our purse, jewelry on, our phones, if even back then you had a phone.
Yeah.
And 9 million other things, especially your ID. So you may occasionally have forgotten or left your wallet, but more than likely it's in our purse buried.
Yeah.
So Susan's husband, Josh Powell, he claimed he had taken the boys on a, and I'll use quotations for this, spontaneous midnight camping trip around 12:30 a.m. on December 7th, leaving Susan asleep at home. And if you know Utah, guess what happens in December in the winter?
What happens?
It snows.
Oh.
So you're going on a midnight camping trip with a 4-year-old and 2-year-old? Without planning, without packing?
Yeah, I don't think he really thought that through.
No.
He just thought, oh, that's believable. This is what I'll tell
Everyone
him.
will believe that. That's a good story. Good cover-up.
I wasn't here. I was camping with my boys.
Another Scott Peterson trying to come up, oh, well, I was really doing this.
Oh, really? I was golfing. Oh, no, I was actually
fishing.
Yeah. Anyways.
But, you know, he said that he went to test a new generator in the remote West Desert area. He then returned home around 5 p.m. on December 7th with the boys, where at the time the police were waiting with relatives after the relatives reported the family missing because children didn't go to daycare that day.
Oh, okay. So he was doing all kinds of odd things.
A bunch of shady shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Powell, he was born in 1976. He was seemingly a mild-mannered accountant and churchgoer who married Susan in 2001. Over time, however, evidence painted him as controlling, financially irresponsible, and increasingly paranoid with conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy theories of what? Okay, sorry. Don't want to get off track. Sorry.
He became the primary person of interest almost immediately and was was never charged in her disappearance before his own death in 2012. But, as usual, the husband is always the first suspect.
Yeah.
But him and his father were two of the weirdest ducks I've ever read about.
Oh, gosh.
And so Susan's father-in-law, his name was Stephen Powell. He was often called Steve. He was a deeply disturbing figure in this case. He was Josh's father. He was a former LDS member who left the church in the mid-'80s and became a vocal critic of it. He harbored, and this is where it gets weird, he harbored an intense, obsessive, and I mean obsessive, fixation on Susan, which included voyeuristic behavior. He would secretly watch her. He had secret diaries that detailed his fantasies about her. Mind you, this is his daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
Secret recordings of her, and even writing creepy songs about her. After she vanished, he supported Josh's story and promoted even more bizarre theories.
Oh, gosh.
He was arrested in 2012 on unrelated charges of voyeurism and, I'm trying to think of a better way to word this.
Child corn?
There we go.
Child corn.
Child porn involving young girls not related to Susan's case. He actually ended up dying in prison in 2018 just from natural causes, which...
So, one less.
one less,
That's how I feel about that.
But many believed he may have helped Josh dispose of Susan's body, or at least know more than he admitted. And the fathers usually do. If you look at a past history of cases, Chris Watt's case is a big one. Mom and dad, of course, knew. They knew. There was another one, and Gabby Petito, her boyfriend, his parents knew.
Yeah, they wouldn't even help. Yep.
So, there's also been long suspicion that his brother had rented a car and helped dispose of the body. And the area, there's tons of mines. And I know there was a YouTuber a few years back who was searching in there, and he thought he had found her, and it turned out to be something else. But, it's... You drop something down a mine like that, she may never be found.
Yeah.
I hope for her family's sake that she is. So police and investigators have long suspected Steve's involvement in concealing evidence or aiding Josh, though there were no direct charges tied to him to the murder. In regards to the father-in-law of Stephen Powell, it emerges as one of the most unsettling and complicit figures. He was obsessed with stalking her. He was very defensive of Josh. He refused to fully cooperate. All of that does strongly suggest that he played a role in covering up or enabling the crime, even if he didn't directly commit it. Which I think with his obsessive tendencies towards her, he would track, he knew her cycle. It was gross behavior.
Was he always like that? A type of person, do you know? Or was he just like that with her?
Usually these type of people have a history of it.
And he's older.
And he's much older.
He's an way older man.
So I think though when she started coming into their life and she was dating Josh and then getting married and everything, and it just got worse.
Yeah.
He was creepy behavior, and the family dynamics he fostered contributed heavily to that tragedy.
Did Josh know about this? I can't recall. Did
I
he know about how his
so,
father was?
But Josh had some mental issues, and he was abusive towards her. He was the way he treated her, she had started videoing her stuff to leave and make an account of it.
Yeah.
Because of the way he was treating her.
Yeah.
She was a bright, hardworking young woman who worked as an accountant. She met Josh through church activities and married him young. She was described as kind, faithful, and increasingly unhappy in her marriage due to him being very controlling and just their financial issues.
That's so sad.
She left a secret video in '08 documenting the family assets and a handwritten note in a safe deposit box stating, "If I die, it may not be an accident, even if it looks like one." And that paper trail showed her fears.
Golly.
I mean, she was that scared and that worried.
Yeah, she kind of. Well, that's what they call intuition.
Mhm.
You need to trust that gut if you feel like something's
wrong. Trust that.
Mhm.
And then you got Josh. Her husband. He was the sole person of interest in this case. He was very evasive. He lawyered up really quick, and he gave very inconsistent stories. Evidence showed he purchased items like a torch. He had items in his van like gas cans, tarps, shovels. He withdrew money from her account after she disappeared.
What?
Yeah. And then the tragic ending of this case, besides Susan's disappearance, was in 2012 during a supervised custody visit in Washington State where he had moved. He locked out the social worker, doused that house in gasoline, unalived himself and his 2 sons in a house fire. It exploded. And the 911 call from that poor social worker on the phone, and the 911 dispatcher, he got a lot of heat because he was very, what's the word I'm looking for? He kind of gaslit her, like, "Oh, are you sure?" He wasn't immediately going, "Hey, this."
He wasn't asking the right questions.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He wasn't trying to hurry up help. He wasn't, and she was like concerned because it was supposed to be a supervised visit, and then he grabbed the kids, locked the door.
Yeah.
But I believe they said there was evidence that he may have unalived the boys prior to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Did you see any autopsies or anything?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's not something I want to see.
Right, that's horrific.
Yeah, that's.
Just like Cece and Bella.
Yeah.
Horrific.
And
Yeah.
those are things that I hope stay kind of locked away.
Right.
And there's her parents, Chuck and Judy Cox. They fought tirelessly for custody of the grandsons after she went and disappeared. And they advocated for answers. And Chuck has still been vocal. But they had, said, "Hey, we want our grandkids." And even with the history of her disappearing, and they still didn't come in and give the custody where it should have been. Because he still has legal rights.
I hate the laws sometimes.
I hate the way that
there should be,
where they should step in and they don't, but then they step in where they don't need to, and it's another person that they think may have been involved was Michael Powell, Josh's brother. He was suspecting of helping dispose of her body because there was a car rented, and there's a paper trail when you rent a car, but the car was abandoned, and it was just very suspicious, but they could never prove it.
Yeah.
And he ended up unaliving in 2013. He self-deleted.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Especially if he was suspected or it did help dispose of Susan's body.
Exactly. So when she disappeared, though, the immediate search and key evidence they found was there was traces of her blood on the floor, on the couch, and there was a fan blowing to dry a wet spot.
What?
Yes.
Or a wet spot that had something was cleaned up.
Exactly.
Okay.
Her phone was in his minivan with the SIM card removed. Why would you remove a SIM card? There was something that was metal that had been melted in the van. They say that was a device destruction attempt. He had purchased a torch. And then also there was her secret video, the note, and expressing all of her fears. And then he had life insurance on her and started withdrawing from it.
What?
Mm-hmm. boys remember saying, "Where's mommy? Where's mommy?" Because if he would have disposed of that body out where they went camping, those boys would have been in their car seats above her body.
That's wild.
Yep.
Another Chris Watts?
So, searches were focused on Utah's West Desert mines, the campgrounds, and remote areas, but again, no body was ever found. He refused polygraphs and, cooperated very minimal. He just absolutely refused to help or do anything or look for his missing wife or... That is like giant red flags.
Huge.
Yeah. And then the case shifted over to Washington when he moved there with the boys amid all the custody battles. And again, in 2012, a court granted the Cox's custody, but when that supervised visit happened, it was February 5th, 2012. And that's when he grabbed the boys, pulled them inside the house, locked the door, and set it on fire.
I'm just wondering, and maybe you'll get there, but just wondering why he did that to the boys. I mean, like, what was it, 2009?
2009 was when she disappeared.
December
2012 was when he unalived everybody.
So for 3 years, she's been gone. You don't, do you still have a custody battle going on, but
I don't...
You unalive them because of that, or
Yeah, I don't
because of the
think he
Coxes?
didn't like the in-laws and did not want them getting those babies.
Okay.
So
he'd rather kill
he'd rather them be dead with him.
Wow.
It's his mentality, his thinking. He was honestly
Selfish.
seems like a narcissist, and you know how they think.
Yeah.
So this investigation was closed actively in 2013, concluding that Josh killed Susan, likely in their home, with possible aid from brother Michael in the disposal. There was just overwhelming circumstantial evidence that pointed to him. And again, with the father, Stephen, being obsessed, and he was all about supporting his son. And then Michael was just the renting of the car and suspected of helping dispose of the body. So it's possible he took the kids on that random camping trip while brother took the body over this way. It's the way it looks,
But why wouldn't they take that car he rented and see where the brother went?
I have no
I
idea.
don't understand that.
Yeah, I've never understood that one either. No other strong suspects have ever came out of this. The main theory, though, and this kind of goes with like conspiracy theories and theories that everyone just kind of comes up with, but is that Josh killed Susan in their home, possibly with a power tool, like an impact driver. He disposed of her body in the desert or a mine, possibly with family help. And then, of course, the camping trip was a cover, but
not a very good one.
The other one is the runaway theory that Josh and Steve kept saying, that she ran off with a missing Utah man, Steve Kocher, to Brazil or elsewhere for a new life. That was debunked, but, that was what they were spitting out, saying, hey, she actually ran away. She was having an affair. It always goes back to that.
Yeah, and then that's where her family has to step in and be like, no, she wasn't.
No.
Yeah, that's horrible. Trying to just...
If she was being that controlled by him, she wouldn't have been having an affair. It wouldn't have worked that way. Other theories is poisoning, drugging, then dumping of the body. There's been theories of cults or conspiracies, and then some people have speculated Steve's obsession escalated to murder. I think he was just a creep and liked to creep on young girls and women. That's all.
But what if he tried something on her? And it didn't go well.
Probably did, but I think Josh was the one. Because if he can just unalive those two boys with no...
Yeah.
Another angle for conspiracy theorists, they said that the claims of the LDS Church covered it up. Family conspiracy, government mishandling in custody that led to the boy's death, which that one is... that one's kind of hard to say, well, the boys shouldn't have been given back to that man.
Yeah. Now, it's so unfortunate that all these kinds of things that who should not go back with who, people don't find out until it's too late. You know, when the judge says, okay, yep, you can have them back. You've done everything you're supposed to do, but they still harbor some kind of hatred for, you know, the other parent, you know, so they do crazy stuff like this.
Yeah, it's crazy. One thing I do, and we'll insert it so that y'all can take a listen to it, is the 911 call from that social worker. So and I was talking about it a little bit earlier, when she dropped off Charlie and Braden for a supervised visit, she smelled gasoline, and she was promptly locked out by Josh. She called 911 in a panic. The call itself is chilling, and I will give trigger warnings for it. She reports smelling gas. She pleads for help, but the dispatch prioritizes other emergencies initially. And then minutes later, there's the explosion, and she screams, "He blew up the house and the kids." And this audio captures her horror as that house erupts.
Gosh.
So we will definitely get that inserted there.
Morning. Hey, I'm on a supervised visitation for a court-ordered visit, and something really weird has happened. The kids went into the house, and the parent, the biological parent, whose name is Josh Powell, will not let me in the door. What should I do? What's the address? It's 8119, and I think it's 89th. I don't know what the address is. That's pretty important for me to know. Sorry, I can't. Just a minute. Let me get in my car and see if I can find it. Nothing like this has ever happened before at these visitations, so I'm really shocked. And I could hear one of the kids crying, but he still wouldn't let me in. Okay, it is one. Oh, just a minute. I have it here. You can't find me by GPS? No. Okay, it is, I still can't find it. But I think I need help right away. He's on a very short lease with CSHS, and CPS has been involved. And this is the craziest thing. He looked right at me and closed the door. Are you there? Yes, ma'am. I'm just waiting to know where you are. Okay. It's 8119 189th Street, Court East, Puyallup, 98375. And I'd like to pull out of the driveway because I smell gasoline and he won't let me in. You want to pull out of the driveway because you smell gasoline, but he won't let you... He won't let me in. He won't let you out of the driveway? He won't let me in the house. Whose house is it? He's got the kids in the house and he won't let me in. It's a supervised visit. I understand. Whose house is it? Josh Powell. Okay, so you don't live there, right? No, I don't. No, I'm contracted to the state to provide supervised visitation. I see. Okay. And who is there to exercise their visitation? I am. And the visit is with Josh Powell. And who's supervising? And he is the husband that I supervise. So you supervise and you're doing the visit? Yeah, I supervise yourself? I supervise myself. I'm the supervisor here. Wait a minute. If it's a supervised visit, you can't supervise yourself. If you're the visitor... I do supervise myself. I'm the supervisor for the supervised visit. Okay, well, aren't you the one making the visit? Or is there another parent that you're supervising? No. I'm the one that supervises. I pick up the kids at their grandparent. Yes. And then who visits with the children? Josh Powell. Okay, so you're supposed to be there to supervise Josh Powell's visit with the children? Yes, that's correct. And how did... And he's the husband of missing Susan Powell. How did he... This is a high-profile case. How did he gain access to the children before you got there? I was one step in back of them. Okay, so they went into the house and he locked you out? Yes, he he shut the door right in my face.
All right, now it's clear. Your last name?
My name is Elizabeth Griffin Hall.
Griffin Hall is hyphenated?
Yes.
And what's your phone number, Elizabeth? And what agency are you with?
Foster Care Resource Network. And the kids have been in there by now approximately 10 minutes. And he knows
How
this
many
is a
children?
supervised visit. 2. Braden is 5 and Charlie is 7.
And the dad's last name?
Powell, Powell. L.
Two L's? Two L's at the end of Powell?
Yes.
His first name?
His first name is Josh.
Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, native?
He's white.
Date of birth?
I don't know. He's about 39.
How tall?
5'10", 150 pounds.
Hair color?
Brown.
Did you notice what he was wearing?
No, I didn't notice what he was wearing.
Is he alone then, or is anybody?
I don't know. I couldn't get in the house.
Are you in a vehicle now or on foot?
I'm in a vehicle. I'm in a Prius, a 2010 Prius,
What color
with
is
the doors locked. But he hasn't opened the door. I rang the doorbell and everything.
What color
I
is it?
begged him to let me in.
Elizabeth, please listen to my questions. What color is the Toyota Prius?
Gray, dark gray.
And the license number?
I don't know. I can look. 750ZMH.
Zebra Mary Henry?
Yes.
All right, we'll have somebody look for you there.
Okay, how long will it be?
I don't know, ma'am. They have to respond to emergency, life-threatening situations first. The first available deputy.
Well, this could be life-threatening. He went to court on Wednesday, and he didn't get his kids back. And this is really, I'm afraid for their lives.
Okay, has he threatened the lives of the children previously?
I have no idea.
All right, we'll have the first available deputy contact you.
Thank you.
All right.
Hello?
Hi, ma'am. Were you calling about the fire in the 8200 block of
Yes,
188th
he
Street,
exploded the house.
Ma'am,
Yes, he exploded the house.
okay, do you know the exact address of the house, or are you
Yes,
supposed
it's 8119 189th Street, Court East,
Okay.
2 hours.
Okay, stand by. Do you know if anyone's in the house?
Yes, there was a man and 2 children. I just dropped off the children, and he wouldn't let me in the door.
Okay, stand by for the fire department. Okay, I'm going to get them on the line. Do not hang up. Hold on. Stay on the phone here with me, ma'am. Hi, fire. This is Rose. The transfer the lady who has an exact address of the house that is on fire there in the 188th Street, Court East neighborhood.
Yes? Okay, what is that exact address? I dropped it, sorry. Just a minute.
will say, if you want to go on a huge deep dive, the Cold podcast that's out there, they have a long series, and it's probably one of my favorites. I've listened to it multiple times. Absolutely highly recommend it. Oxygen Channel has The Disappearance of Susan Powell. It's a very good one. 2020 specials, always. You gotta love good 2020. Dateline, we will post several different, resources and everything. If anybody out there knows anything, please contact authorities. This is a case that I know many would love to see solved. At least bring her home and let her rest.
Yeah.
She's
It's been a long time.
very long time.
Golly.
Her body has never been found. This case remains a stark reminder of domestic dangers, investigative challenges, and a tragic custody failures. Her story endures through advocacy by her family and true crime coverage.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay, y'all. Let's breathe.
Woosah.
I want to say thank you for listening. Stay curious, stay safe, and be aware. Alright, my crime crazy people, we will be back next week with a brand new episode. To see all of our source material, please consult the show notes. If you don't mind, please leave us a review, 5 stars if you will, and let us know how we are doing. Don't forget to click that subscribe follow button, and catch us on our social medias, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at Bell of Humanity Podcast. Also, if you have any questions, you want to provide feedback, or you have a case suggestion, please send us an email at bellofhumanity@gmail.com. Hosted by Kimberly Taylor and Melonie Yelvington. Produced and edited by Courtney Santos. Music by Myuu and Lucjo on YouTube. A Bronx Bay production. Okay, Bronx, tell the people we will